Hi there, this is a Maisondestencils video illustrating how to stencil on fabric. And I have two different types of fabric here. The bottom fabric right here is just t-shirt material, jersey, and the top one here is a burlap bag. So I'll start with the burlap, and these are our stencils. This is from our number set. This is, I believe, the 4-inch set. And when you're stenciling on a bag, or a pillow insert, anything that has two sides, you obviously want to put something in between the two layers of fabric so your paint doesn't bleed through to the other side. So this is just some cardboard I'm going to insert here. Okay, and then you could tape your fabric down so there's no gather, but since this is just a quick demo, I'm not going to worry about that. I'm using Folk Art brand paint for this video. We use chalk paint, we use all kinds of things, but this is just what I had on hand. And the goal is always to use as little paint as possible. And you don't want your paint to be wet either. I know that sounds ridiculous, but you know, you don't want real runny, watery paint. So I'm gonna take, like, that's even too much paint. Something really minimal, and then just using an up and down motion, start stippling away. And you definitely don't want to do what I just did and not secure your stencil with painter's tape, but I'm winging it. And I wanted to show you guys that here, again, not using much paint at all, that you can always add more paint and do a second coat if your coverage isn't good enough. But if you use too much paint on fabric and it bleeds, then you've really run into a problem, because unlike wood or plaster or a surface where you can kind of sand and start over or do another coat, it's really hard to reinvent yourself when you make a mistake with fabric. So I'll just stop right here so we can see how crisp our edges are. In burlap, you know, there's always a little bit of wiggle room because the weave of the fabric is so wide. But here's how that looks. It's pretty darn crisp for being a fabric that's so wide. And so I'll stop there so you see that it got a good result, and then we'll move on to the jersey fabric here. So I'm just going to lay that down, and again, almost no paint on the end of my stencil brush, and again, working into the cutaway with an up and down motion, get the paint onto the cotton surface. And if you look here, you can see I've got quite a bit of concentrated space at the end of that serif number 2, but I'm slowly adding more in, and I can kind of see my edges take shape here. So let's just give this a couple more applications of paint before we pull away and take a look here. Do one more. Okay. So let's take a look at that here. So I actually had a hair from my paintbrush come off, and it really does pay to use bristle brushes, I think, like this, but buy better quality than whatever this was. This was like not an expensive brush. But I could just take that away with tweezers and it'd be fine, but no bleed at all, and it's because I did not use that much paint. So if you have any questions, email us at info@maisondestencils.com, and you can send us a picture if you're having trouble, and we'll help you figure out where you went wrong with painting on fabric. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks.